Download the BCSN Plus app today.
All right, so like any Michigan Wolverine football player ever, Toledo native Ted Jobe is proud of beating Ohio State twice in 4 years in the maize and blue. Our chat with the sports legend of Northwest Ohio, Hall of Famer, picks up right after college.
You said you gave as good as you got when it came to Ohio State and Michigan, and then after you graduated from Michigan, you came back to Toledo and you gave quite a bit back to Toledo.
And that is a strange story too. Actually, at the end of my senior year, I needed student teaching. Student teaching was 12 hours at the time, but I only needed 6 hours to graduate, but I was going to have 6 hours more than necessary. So I went up to sign up for, would have been my 5th year, to sign up for student teaching. And my advisor looked at my transcript and said, well, all you need is student teaching. And he said, why don't you go back to Toledo and see if you can find a teacher in Toledo who would be willing to serve as a supervising teacher. The university will pay him to be the supervising teacher, and you could student teach in Toledo, and you wouldn't have to worry about paying room and board here in Ann Arbor, which was kind of high. Yeah. And it made sense to me. So I came back, and my teacher, my favorite teacher, my mentor, a gentleman named Mr. Standriff, Bob Standriff, I contacted him and I explained the situation to him. So he said he'll look around and see if he could find a teacher who was willing to do that. And a day or two later, he called me back. He said, couldn't find anybody to serve as a student teacher, but they'll hire you to teach at Libbey High School if you're willing to coach football. And if you've had some, I majored in history, if you've had some classes in African American studies, and if you're willing to teach African American studies at the high school level, because at that time there were a lot of kids, you know, clamoring that you don't teach African American history, and so I suppose the Board of Education, to satisfy that demand, will send me into the fray. So I started teaching, and I had never student taught, and it was, you learn, tested in combat, learn as you go along. So.
You said you were ordained to go to Michigan. I think you were ordained to become a teacher as well.
I think so too. And then, so I'm still thinking that I need student teaching. Mm-hmm. So that year, so now it's a year later. I was supposed to go back and talk to my advisor last year. Now it's a year later, and I go back to register for student teaching. And he said, well, you never came back. I mean, what happened? So I told him the story that I just told you. He said, what? He said, you mean they allow you to teach without student teaching or without having a degree? He said, well, if you're telling me the truth, we could petition the university to allow your experience teaching to satisfy student teaching. And he said that I would need to get a letter from the superintendent verifying that I did work all year, and my evaluations from the principal, that I had successful evaluations in the classroom. So I rounded all of that up and got it back to the university, and he said, hey, you're good to go. You just need 6 hours now. So I took 6 hours of art